We're going to begin with Hurricane Helene bearing down on Florida right now. Expected to hit the Panhandle area tonight as a powerful Category 3 storm with potentially catastrophic storm surge, flash flooding, damaging winds. We have team coverage in the storm zone for you, starting with Ginger in St. Petersburg. Good morning to you, Ginger.
Robin, here in St. Petersburg, Tampa Bay is jumping and it's pushing the water with this offshore flow that we're having ahead of the storm. I mean, the thing is more than 300 miles to my southwest, but we're going to keep seeing this flooding as we go toward a high tide. We'll have several periods of that. So we're worried about surge here, yes, but it's that catastrophic and unsurvivable surge up in the Big Bend, Appalachia Bay area that we're worried about. Also, we've got a tornado watch. On top of all the surge warnings, there are tornadoes that have been happening from South Florida all the way up to South Carolina. It is going to be a wild day with major impacts all the way through Georgia up to Asheville. This morning, Hurricane Helene taking aim at Florida. Forecast to make a landfall as a Category 3 in the Big Bend late tonight.
I got a bad feeling about this one.
At least 5 states declaring a state of emergency ahead of Helene's landfall.
And if it's right around Tallahassee, it very likely would be the worst hurricane that they have seen in recorded history.
Hurricane-force winds with power outages and trees down will stretch well into Georgia. Linemen even staging in Major League ballpark parking lots.
A mandatory evacuation has been ordered. Please leave this area.
Police patrolling, using loudspeakers to get their message out. At least 20 counties in Florida ordering mandatory evacuations.
Most of the models have this becoming a major hurricane. You have time to implement your plan so that you're prepared for this storm.
Firefighters racing to evacuate residents from this nursing and rehab center in Crawfordville. Others choosing to stay and ride out the storm, stocking up on supplies, ready for the worst.
We're gonna hunker down. I told the family if you need to come in, we all hunker down together and we make the best of it.
Across the state, businesses and most public county schools closing. The Tampa International Airport suspending all commercial and cargo operations. Crews rushing to build this 9-foot-high wall to protect the Tampa General Hospital. The hurricane's moving north-northeast, and it is going to rocket up toward that Panhandle and Appalachia Bay tonight. So the landfall is late tonight, and it looks like it could be still a major hurricane, meaning Category 3. The cone, remember, that you see there is really only where the center could go. So the impacts are well beyond that. Tropical storm force winds actually go 345 miles outside the center. That's why you have warnings from Asheville, North Carolina, all the way down to Miami. So many of those warnings need to be paid close attention to, including the one that goes with a hurricane warning as far north as Macon, because we're going to see widespread power outages. I hope Georgia is prepared for how fast this is going to come through tonight into early tomorrow and how the impacts will be huge. But let's talk about that number one loss of life and property. Around here, it's 4 to 8 feet of surge. That is not as unsurvivable as the 10 to 20 feet. St. George Island, St. Mark's, Keaton Beach, Cedar Key, all preparing, and hopefully if you haven't gotten out, you really just need to get away from the immediate coast. When they say unsurvivable, we're not joking. It's like 2 stories of water coming at you fast. And then you got to talk about all of the rest of the impacts, including the wind, right? And that goes all the way up to Augusta, Georgia, where you can see gusts upwards of 60, 70 miles per hour. And most importantly, by tomorrow, it'll be about western North Carolina and South Carolina, northeast Georgia, significant flash flood threat, Michael.
Yeah, definitely dangerous conditions there, Ginger. You and your team, please stay safe. Thank you so much for that.